knows where this one goes, Chad, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun finding out. Now, outsiders bring the attack into the start of our affair. Heroic to receive them on the defense.
Yeah, stylistically, that's been the conversation. It's difficult to tell how this one's going to mesh here in the best of three, but out the gates we go, and in the hands of Kick It is the utility. A smoke and a flash, and everybody heading straight towards Ace. Down and Shush over towards Ticket to receive them here. It's a three-man B stack, so if the attack comes soon, it's going to be on these two to ward them away. Yeah, but Stown is sharp as attack. He's put him on the headshot angle. He's got Shush in support as well. Now, it's not ready for the Palace fight. That's Shush's responsibility. It's James that's jiggling. Perfect flash. Wow. Straight to the face from the Glock. Goosh. And on the way back is Flit. Knocks down one. Rotates in. Fame taking a duel, and he wins them both with Flit by his side, who frags everyone. Three on the pistol to mow down the Heroic defense. Bomb down. Round lost unless Yabi can get anything done. It takes him a full 12 bullets, but Norbert gone. Be hard pressed to do much more. No kit, got to find two more. Dancing around triple, dancing around the default, and that's the end of that. Flip for four. Straight out of the gate, the outsiders. A statement of intent. Very little to celebrate for Heroic, very little additional cash. I think a single kill is all they have to celebrate. And a bit of a smile on the face there from Fame, who was taken out of the equation here by Kick It's team kill. But the conversation to kick off that round was the fact there's only two players here. However, information is power, and Heroic, they seized that. They had that B boost. They knew it wasn't going to be the B play. Cadian was out middle, and the rotation was there. But hitting their shots was outsiders. Full spy back. Scout for Cadian. The highlight of this was some deagles around it. And a nice nade forward to chip away at Flit and James. Definitely something we should highlight is Heroic's utility damage. They've been bang on. It's been some fantastic work. Look clinical at times on specific matchups. Just go back to that Liquid game, seeing Elige, nades and Molotovs in his face round after round. Yeah, they're very diligent. You know, it's rare you see wasted lethal utility. Molotovs and nades combined, flashes and Molotovs. It can all be a lethal concoction. This is the type of round where Heroic want to turn this into the Force by Wars. The back and forth nature. Got good smokes. It's going to deny the scout. That's for sure. Yeah, well, obviously not in a rush here, are they? Does throw out a bit of a threatening flash through that smoke. Now, Yabi will be cleared. Jump, oh, no need. Actually, Flit again in the feed, and he is feasting upon Heroic. Two more headshots already. As easy as that. I mean, these can be scary rounds, especially you lose one early, weapons are lost, information is lost, but this has been handled gracefully by Flit. Yeah, and this heavy rifle investment. You don't want to give too much over, but Shush silences James. They know where he is now. Stown and Cadian are both here over towards this A side as well. It could still get prickly with 35 seconds. They're coming for him, though. Shush would need to hit a banger, or Cadian as well with the no-scope. Does go awry. Shush using that smoke to his own advantage. Kick It well drilled, not going to succumb. It's again Flit. Man is on one. Kick It again just to secure the round. Yeah, Cadian's going to get nothing done from jungle. A nice try, missed the shot. Evasive strafe, and now he's the one trying to evade the hunt. Yeah, they're hunting him down here. Fame, Flit, surging forward. Kick It trying to cut him off with the pass by going around T-Spawn. They are trying to remove everything here, and Cadian gets deleted by Norbert. And that was one of the keys when we were covering the Outsiders versus Fnatic game, I believe, is how, well, Outsiders, the team who loves to save, were good at punishing exactly that when you wanted to go for it. So not allowing there to be any booby traps going into round number 3. It should be a very light economical here from the Danes. And that was a tidy deagle shot, sure, but it's more of a consolation. And understandably so. It was a lengthy tech timeout before we got underway with play. Oh, the juxtaposition there was funny. All right, well, yeah, as you said, an economical. I think this is a curious matchup, right? We've been talking a lot about this stylistically, and we're going to have to dig into those details here to explain it to everybody at home. But this game, with Outsiders in the server, it's the perfect team to highlight the importance of Counter-Strike's beautiful details, right? Turning that notch up to 11, milking every single moment, every single detail, every single kill to its greatest advantage. Cadian gets one, but again, it's going to be James just mopping them up. Two more to find of Shush and Stown, and they're already being dealt with. But I think what you're referring to as well, it's no better embodied than in these two teams. Outsiders have their game. I know we used to dismiss it as a cliche, but there is a lot of depth to that statement if you investigate. You know, Heroic, they've definitely put their own, flavor. That's a lot of skill being displayed. He's called it off. Oh, yeah. He's got a bit of a little bit more than he could chew right there. And the disapproval of the crowd, he's not happy with that one. But is it safe to say that though the desk leans Outsiders, even the conversation of a potential 2-0, this should be
a marathon, not a sprint. Now, I see Dastan on the mic.
Again, it's been very common for outsiders to do this, actually. Look, we've got some timeout stats somewhere. Maybe I'll dig into them at half-time here. But they always seem to be taking these timeouts quite early. And this is after the 3-0 start. So Dastan just setting the record straight of how he wants his team to approach. And that combination of Dastan and James, had a chance to speak to Dastan just the other day. I think they've been together for something like 6 years. So the brain trust of this team have great faith in what one another are bringing to the table here. Now, we were talking about the Heroic play style, right? They're about subverting the expectation. But when you're in their server, you're expecting Heroic. That's their modus operandi, right? It is the unexpected. So Cadian on this AWP.
Well, both of these AWPing in-game leaders have whipped it out.
Missed window smoke.
Early. And Stound's just going to stand and bang. If you want to try, James is there. Should he try and clear? Norbert patrolling early B presence. And oh, this is more than a patrol. This is a forward watch. Shush has got straight ramp control and trying to track on the jumping flip.
Didn't hit him at all.
Executed. Not a single bullet connects. You can see the reaction, anticipating a Molotov down his gullet. This is mad.
He might get down in the back here. Kickit is coming back, and Shush is not predicting this whatsoever. He's pivoting, but he should be a dead man walking. Kickit hasn't spotted him. Kickit hasn't spotted him. Shush turns around and is going to get the kill. How's he pulled that off?
Nuts from Shush to have such a proactive defense so early into the piece. That signature Heroic. You got a gap, I'm going to leap through it.
And it comes out of one of their more passive anchors, right? Shush, the clutch man, you heard him in the interview there. It was like a lifetime ago now, but talking about how in practice he's been doing the clutch in the service, now wants to bring that more to the officials.
Love that forward positioning from Shush. He's not necessarily the character you'd expect to be up in their grill so early.
But Cadian is, and he might receive Norbert and James now, who have sauntered back over. Fame has been called to the party as well, and Flit, he's the missing piece of this puzzle to come through connector.
He should have them with the shadow. Norbert, legged, knocks his kneecaps off. And he's not slowing down necessarily. Cadian will have time to reposition. Flashes, spray, Norbert, vicious to take down Shush. And don't forget, Cadian repositions down, catching that mid presence. They're all now Tetris side. But they're playing Heroic's game. Util out, they'd love a plant. James to provide overwatch. More damage inflicted through the smoke. Yavi's so close yet so far. Bomb is in. First step in the flowchart. Winnable now. James still alive with this AWP. Not with the health. I mean, James is a clutch king, master on this AWP, and he is facing in towards CT. Will Heroic avoid him? Still a lot of time on that clock. It feels like it slows down on rounds like this. Yabi, good for it. Cadian the same. Nothing for Norbert. That low HP. He has gone for the round the world maneuver. There's a small opportunity if Yabi doesn't hit this clean. Yabi needs it, loses it. Norbert should go down. He's hit every shot. They do get it eventually. There was a threat. And considering he was the one that caught flak early, it's impressive.
And this is where we need to refer to those details, right? A couple of kills like that, where we always talk about the economic impact it's going to have on Heroic here. So their buy coming forward, there will be one available. But chipping away, right, they don't confirm the round. But this is a long game. It's first to 16. It doesn't matter how quick you're out the gate. It doesn't matter if you get to 10 first. And that's the way the outsiders approach Counter-Strike. They understand they're in this for the long run. So a great attempt from Norbert here.
Good to see him online.
Now that proactive nature of Shush right there, that can come from a lot of different elements on this Heroic team. So do we see more of those risky maneuvers, trying to find these gaps, thread the needle? They're going to flash and fight.
4 of them taking mid control and
no flash.
Complete success. 2 flattened. Flit, Fame, down. Norbert advancing. Very forward position on this, and he's found a gap. There's no one home. Bomb's going down courtesy of James, and they're making a round out of this with a 2-man disadvantage. Heroic favored for the retake, but look at this. Norbert caught out, Tessus aware, and it will just start to peter out, despite that bomb ticking in their favor. Yabi's got the door locked behind you. They'll activate when necessary. They do need to get their ass on towards that bomb. James already catches Yabi. That is impressive. Oh. This is a problem now because Kicker's still on the site and he just needed one more frag. One more frag and the 2v5 could have been a very real. Look how little time was left. Well handled in the end.
Again, another close one, right? Keeping them very honest here. This is the fiery Counter-Strike we'd like to see. Now, there was really no opportunity for James to try and save in that situation. Preempted that flank coming through. Bought them a buffer on the way out, but the fight came too quick. And look, this isn't too much of a worrying sign early in terms of we need to be majorly concerned, but we need to point out some of the stat lines here. Traditionally, for Fame and Norbert in this roster, they're 2 of the higher performers. Now, they're 2 of the younger blood as well. This is Fame's first ever major, which means it's first ever major grand final, and he's yet to frag. He is the #1 in the tournament as far as opening kills go on the T side of Mirage. So he is going to be a factor here for them in success.
So not only is he the best on this side of this map, he's now on his first Grand Final stage at 19 years of age and currently yet to frag. Tessa
changes.
Cadian about to make a lot of impact on this rush. They're throwing bodies into the B site and Cadian's just swatting them away like pesky mosquitoes. Get out. Only one. James and his Kevlar vest going to do his Kevlar best, but we got a fourth, or rather a third.
And a clean one, all right? That's the difference. Now, they were given that opportunity by the virtue of the buy-in. Well, funny this, Outsiders haven't gotten away with any saves just yet. So that is also going to be a key factor here with some of these details. When you talk to the players, right, I've had the opportunity to talk to several pros over the last couple of days. I was talking to Magix from Spirit today. I got to speak to Mezzi and Fasha yesterday from Fnatic, nice. Right? And I got to pick their brain about, Outsiders, James, and they're talking about Ghost Orbs. You never know where James is going to be with the AWP, but the assumption has to be he's somewhere, and that makes things extremely difficult. And again, it's another risky maneuver from Heroic here, keeping this proactive form. They have two players searching towards a ramp. The B-bomb site was very light on earlier. It's just Tessus, but Cadian's here. But is he here in time? In the first shot, he spotted the cross. One down onto Fame.
Another death for Fame. 5 deaths, 0 contributions. This time handed his ass by Cadian, and they cancel plans. Cadian just rips up that game plan. Says, try again. Try something else. But that is definitely something to keep an eye on in terms of the opener being the opening death. Outsiders maybe missing a component, at least initially.
Well, Norbert is looking exactly like we'd expect Norbert to, right? You see how nonchalant he seems in these interviews. We're just playing our game. James is calling our game. It's like we do in practice, and that's where you want to set your consistent bar, which is something Outsiders have for them. But this is the very early stages here. Now, the question is, are Heroic going to be able to break away from the pack? And when we find ourselves in these scenarios right now, right, we got 50 seconds left on the clock, you're thinking, okay, well, they're just going to sit back, but they always go fishing. There's always a little bit of a look in case something happens.
Every round, when it looks like Outsiders are down and out, they do seem to make a round out of it. Knocking on Shush's door. Yabi as well. A little less experience on this side of the site, especially on a grand final fight. Yabi dancing with Flit. He's been a very imposing presence. James trying to chip away further as well. Shush has not moved. Look at this. The restraint on him leads to a frag. Should be 2. And that's the round locked in for Heroic. But you can see, this is another example. Outsiders will make you work for everything. You cannot relax.
It has to be a part of their gameplay as well, because they're so prevalent with the saving here, that if you lost those 2 opening kills, as they did in the first 20 seconds of the round, you can not just go back to spawn and wait, because they will eventually find out there's no sound, there's nothing across the map, and then they will hunt you. But you need to stay somewhat puffed up, right? In a position where if you do get that kill, if a fight comes your way, if they do come aggressive, you can capitalize. And if you don't, well, then you can save in your safe haven that you've been able to buy yourself.
Is it fair to say as well that teams have got very good at getting information safely? More than,
sure.
Like, at a higher level than we've ever seen.
We've got the jiggle peaks, obviously we've got jump spotting, there's different boosts, using that utility, right? There's a whole lot of different ways, and teams know that once you strafe out for that fight, you don't have to be committed to it. As I said earlier, information is power. Use your teammates. It is a team game here, and we do have a hero AK in the hands of Fame right now.
They're trying to activate him. Just trying to get the sleep out of his eyes and get him with his eyes on the prize. Yabi forward position. Who's responsible for underpass? That's down. You've got a 3-man setup here in mid. Now, Shush will be on the jiggle. Kicker's on walking and spots him. Surely that alerts Outsiders there's likely going to be bodies in mid, and they are still coming. Forward position. Yabi aware and now noted. It's Fame to activate. Down. That was his responsibility, but Fame with that hero AK does hero things. If he could just get another, Fame announces his presence in glory and bloodshed. Cadian tested on window. Tessa's tucks and turns tail. Actually dunks on Fame. That's a big nade from the Dane. Bomb on the back of James. Cadian at the disadvantage, or posted, and that smoke won't last forever. He has got that Tech 9 in order to facilitate any close combat he's required for. Heroic have really strung out. Flit straight to the head of Shush, and this now falls apart for the Danish defense. There is an open plant, knocks him off it, delays, but James will get it down regardless.
Yeah, it looks like Cadian's trying to back off and save here, but Norbert over towards this window room. You might be able to unravel this. If any sound cues are made, can relay that information, and Norbert just patrolling. He doesn't need to strike until they overstep, and Tessus has done just that.
Yeah, he's overstepped. And now could go down. Cadian, ooh, careful now, Cadian with his orb on his back. Tessus trying to bodyguard the leader. Does so with some parkour of his own and will get away.
Okay, well, that should be it right now. And that was one AK, a couple of upgraded pistols. Fame, we were just talking about him, and he's that impact, and he's able to deliver here with not one, but 2 kills to open up round number 8. So massive work for the 19-year-old. I said first major grand final. You talk about, hey, it's another day at the office. There's obviously pressure. I love the way the Death surmised this. This isn't like any other game. This is your opportunity to win a major grand final and join the elite. It's our World Cup. This is the tippy top of our mountain right here. This is every Counter-Strike player's dream. This is, if you're a completionist, the end.
Yeah, I feel something tells me James is a completionist. You know, everyone speaks so highly. Yakinda cannot stop talking about the way James sees. He thinks he's the smartest player he's ever played with and ever will play with. I mean, that is high praise from a player that we obviously regard highly. And I think Counter-Strike also boils down to this tightrope we all walk, whether in life and in the server, of walking this tightrope of confidence and arrogance. You've got to come into this server believing in your ability, but you don't want to fall into that trap, and that's when you see arrogance in the game as well. I mean, it is, you know, almost one-to-one. Counter-Strike is very human.
Yeah, for sure. I think this, you know, at the end of the day, this is a competition, so you need to have that ego to some degree. Right. To know that you're going to battle because you want to beat the 5 individuals on the other side of the server. You want to prove that you are the absolute best. But if you have, as you mentioned, that arrogance right there and you overstep the mark, you start taking too many risks, it will come back to bite you in the ass with these details that we're trying to define here today.
All right, well, everyone's got the Zoom banger. James and Cadian with their signature weapons. Let's see what round 9 has. Oops, in store. Missed Molly. Cadian, open the account for Heroic, at least firing off the shot. No damage inflicted. Flit, just a bit of chip damage. Back of the box, down to half. Fame tries his luck on the same move, and they stack nade again. Heroic. Draw blood with shrapnel alone. Down, can't extend that. Lovely dink. Obscured view, but Fame still holds his nerve. And now Cadian for the finish. Oh, it cost him his life. That was a little arrogant. Goes for the finish. He was just so hungry for it. Didn't consider the James position.
This is the info game again. A-ramp, nobody. They've actually given up the gap to Kick It, who is starting to come back around. Shush might get caught by a timing here in the 2 of these. They've had some awkward timing so far. Kick It's very aware, so is James, and this should be a pantsing right here. The A-bomb site is open for business.
Brilliant play. Fame again, going to get some credit. James too.
So much utility as well. They can smoke towards spawn if they'd really like. Right, Norbert has the power position over towards jungle. Still got flashes. Molly's in play. Yabby on the flank as well. Again, it flanks on flanks on flanks.
Flanking the flankers who flanked. Yabby, how has he got this gap? Both there, both dead. Yabby, impact. It looked like outsiders round. Now the script flipped, and only one more headshot required. Norbert catches flak. One to the head.
He's sitting it. He's sitting it.
He is holding it. Oh, and he doesn't expect it. Tessus saves them. What a round! Yabby and Tessus, with their powers combined, will make a 5th round reality.
Oh, okay. That's exactly what Yabby was brought in this team for. Replacing Refresh, brought in as the X Factor. The around the world, this didn't seem possible, right? Traditionally, when that kill comes in, I said the site, they had it. It was open for business, but not accounting for this. James normally ready for everything.
And that's what I was going to say. How rare is that? James not looking the right way? I don't see him caught out often.
That's the 2B defenders as well, but here comes the aggression. They might be feeling a little bit rumbled right now, and Stown trying to give him a little bit more. Chips away at the toes. Flit knocked down slightly. They will relinquish control of that boost. So information going both ways here. But Heroic, they've seen enough. They're dropping back now, and let's see where else on the map they want to continue this proactive nature. Back to isolate the A defender. It's normally just Kick It here on the default, but Norbert as well.
And Norbert's just been a real safe pair of hands. I don't know if I'd want to trifle with him early. Oh, but Shush does. Successful. Onto the ramp presence.
He caught both there, but look at this. There's no reaction from outsiders. They haven't started pushing anywhere across the map. They're still just defaulting through. Fame and Flit. They're not broken. Tessus dropping back to support Cadian's AWP, who is somewhat out of the play here.
It's always fun to watch how outsiders dig themselves out of trouble.
Well, they have to rumble Stown and Shush on A. It looks likely as the bomb's starting to come up the ramp. A connector smoke, well timed.
Kick It on the crawl. Now, Shush will be exposed.
Spotted. Kick It. Laser vision.
Got a free headshot there. Shush caught out, but he does survive long enough for Stown at least to shut him down. Outsiders still making a very imposing presence up the stairs. Nice angle through the smoke. 1 and done. Fame to trade. 2 on 2. Very high stakes game. And the bomb is being planted. The pot shot to bait Yabi to crawl. I don't think they got the info on the walk through. Timing good. Damage better. Straight through the triple box. Getting Yabi a problem. Newest addition and absolutely unfazed by the state of play. Now they got a smoke. They don't have a kit. There is one there you see on Shush's corpse. Actually one right in front of them. You can see that through the X-ray. Time-sensitive mission. Kit picked up. Oh, spots them both. Eliminates one. Fame holding his nerve in his first major. Never mind the grand final.
He's lost him.
He's completely lost him. Fame evaporates the invisible man. Clutching up for the outsiders with pinpoint precision. That's nuts. It looked like Heroic's round all the way until it wasn't.
Well, he's opening and closing them now. That is fantastic from Fame here. Comfy stuff. I remember tuning into this kid's stream. He was in a battle for the highest elo in Face It, right? Going toe-to-toe with some of the other big names of the world, and just watching him on this map specifically, his aim is out of control. He loves hitting the heads right here, and, well, he puts on a show with two of those.
You can see it. Dude,
that's a big round.
Robotic.
And that's just after the Yabi round happened, right? With that flank coming through. So that's a statement. The back and the forth nature of this is really good as we find ourselves at 5-5. And Cadian, he was just scrambling. He was just trying to get out of dodge. I cannot believe they lost the positioning of Fame right there. So that is massive stuff from the young gun.
No silencer on that AK. And that one might get under your skin a little bit. You feel like you misplayed it. You do have to shake it off. Taylor Swift was right. But a very competitive first map. This is promising.
I like the little details in a round like that as well. You know, that connector smoke lands. I say good timing because you're expecting them to start limping up through connector and then go on either side of it. But that's as they crept out the ramp. So it drew attention. It did the job, and it enabled them to go from a 4v5 disadvantage situation into a, well, 1v2 clutch. And here's a push again.
They're looking for gaps. Heroic. They will exploit your weakness.
They're just going to walk out Palace.
Why not? Kick it, just dry. You're not going to be ready for this. If you're Shush, you're just holding a nade in your hand, and now, yeah, it's down, desperately trying to bail his teammate out of trouble. Too late. Norbert makes it permanent. Shush forced to watch. Very light on nades. Down needs to find headshots and has done so onto Flit. James still a problem. Onto Cadian. Limited resources for Heroic to defend now as outsiders look to take a leg up and a lead to 6. Flash will be eaten.
Tess is on a flank here, so...
Yeah, that is a Palace.
James been caught up before.
Get caught out again? He might. He might. He is from behind. Tessa, only the one. It's Fame. Long range on the Galil. Safe pair of hands. He knows he's communicating a lot. I think he's aware of Yabi's likely murder hole advance. Down the one with a bit more freedom, but very hard pressed to make any sort of impact on this round. Head has to be on a swivel. Good damage. Fame doesn't give it. Kick it with contact. That is perfect. Just team play. You know, we talk about it. This is what the desk was spending a lot of time discussing, is that both of these teams are this much greater than the sum of their parts because of their communication, because of their reaction to the information. Now, again, talking of information, James probably going to be checking his flank a bit more throughout this series.
Yeah, he just hasn't expected this in multiple occasions. Now, lucky it didn't cost him because the kid that we were bringing up not that many rounds ago was 0-5. Now, he's got himself at 9 kills to his name, so he is back in action, and that's exactly what outsiders need. And the key of a round like that, round number 11, was it's a break round. You could see Heroic, they invested everything and more, whatever they could, the kitchen sink, and now they have nothing. So this is going to be a day where they just run in to kick it.
He's going to have some fun with this one. So from 4 frags, 5, and Tesses, very good use of his USB. Flit just tapping away at the gap, inflicting good damage. Now you should see the outsiders just escort the bomb into B.
Fame might get a few more here.
I think he might. Farming up onto Cadian for his 10th. Going to leap towards the top of the scoreboard here. Shush warded off by the flame.
It is crazy to think that Fame's clutch was the break round, right? Because that was the catalyst for then Heroic to go into a round where they didn't have everything they needed and more. And then you're able to convert what is an easier round. They contacted out towards A. They had very forward positions. They convert that, and now it's the eco. So you can see the flow-on effects of all of these little rounds and the details that all add up.
That's one thing that I think everyone loves about Counter-Strike, is that whatever it is you provide in the round, be it a call, a frag, a multi-kill, a sound cue heard and relayed to your team, it all has an impact in the grand scheme, whether it's economical, whether it's a result, a round. Every single detail can have an effect on that final result. Oh,
Lambs to a slaughter right there.
Yeah, well, we do see Yabi maintain the only AK. Of course, Kickit lost that after the one, so something to celebrate on an otherwise rather bleak round for the Danes.
I don't think an AWP will be available for Cadian here, so that as the conversation is at least something they'll need to have in their gameplay. But they've been very proactive with these rifles, right? We've seen a couple of times they want to take these fights over towards A. They've done some B pushes as well. Stoun's even had that jaunt up mid where it didn't result in a whole lot, but they want to show themselves first. And I think if you can get a kill or two early against a team like Outsiders and maintain that number advantage, that's when they're more likely to save, right? So it's going to make it a whole lot harder for them to get away with their smoke and mirrors and using that clock against you. So the buys are coming through. I saw Dastan today, saw him in the halls. He looks pretty focused, right? He's not a guy, you don't see him with a smile on the face too often here, but he definitely has some big insights. And we're talking about these teams and what they've been able to build and the sum of all their parts. Well, Dastan, he's been taking care of the other four, while James been able to focus more on himself here, which helps with his in-game leadership and the impact he can have. And as an AWP in-game leader, you have to have impact.
It shows as well, James. Clutch of the tournament so far. One of the many reasons they find themselves in this grand final. Now Fame, down, another name we must mention as he forces the conversation. A double kill forward on mid. Norbert is next victim. Stown with 3 and dips away. Baits into Tesses. And the whole squad just sent packing. 1 to go. James does hit the first. Somewhat of a crowd favorite, and that's for good reason. But ladies and gentlemen, with 6 grand in the bank, James might be playing the long game.
Yeah, I think so here. The question is, how is he going to save? So at this point, he's boxed in.
It's his favorite game.
And he's been flanked a couple of times, so the likelihood for that is probably trickling through his mind. Yabi and Tesses are closing that door if he wants to head back to pick up the C4. Shush and Stown to contend with Palace and A-Ramp for now. And this is around where we will just see time sink off the clock. But this is where you have to make the choice of your heroic. We're getting late within this first half. Do you want to throw bodies at this to remove the AWP, where you may lose a couple, right? Because Jamie's definitely been hitting some shots. I know it's only 6 kills, but as you mentioned, this is his favorite game and one where he would love to inflict some damage. So it might just be a stalemate here for the next 30 seconds or so.
Gives us an opportunity to talk about Mr. Triple Kill. Stown, young gun, and a bit of a prodigy, a phenom for Danish Counter-Strike. I mean, there is a lot. Anyone that's queuing Face It knows there's a lot of Danish 5 stacks that hurt. But Stown is king of all of these masters of the mechanics.
Well, this is the thing with Stown, right? He gets the title attributed to him like Jack of all trades because he can do it all, right? There's a joke that he's the best AWPer in heroic, right? That's a bit of a gag.
I think Kate would even laugh at that one,
right? Yeah. So Stown can do it all, right? And in terms of like superstar ascension, he doesn't have that same aura about him. But I think that's also because of this team. Like coming into this event, right? He played average for Stown standards within the Legend stage, and now in the playoffs, he's finding his form exactly when they need to. So maybe just preserving that energy to make sure he could deliver here on the big stage. But that was just deathmatch in mid, just pivoting around, taking those fights, willing to get in the face of Outsiders, and that's what we discussed. Those aggressions, looking for those kills to then have the round simmer out. They just got 4 in quick succession.
Nice recovery though, heroic with quick multi-kill into mid. You won't be seeing that again, I say, with bated breath. The nades, flip nose, and has learned his lesson. They don't stop coming.
They obviously brought more bodies here because if they're going to bully us with pushes, we need to force them back. Mid is key real estate. Norbert, while he's taking another piece, Tetris.
James coming too. This looks like it could be a bit more of an early forward position out of Norbert, gives them room. And they'll wait for the go sign. Now that smoke might delay their proceedings. Good util, forces Norbert back. Wow, they just bought respect with nades alone. Okay,
that was a very good little option to force him out of play. But here comes Flit and Fame.
It's a rather standard pincer into A. 2 through mid. Flit and Fame. Dastardly duo. Coming for you. Cadian. Gonna be swept through. Nice find from the leader. 1 and done. Fame still an issue. Shush. Woof. Meets his fate. Double out of his M4 still. And Fame did take a lot through that smoke. Might want to just let James work. Let him work his magic. He's got the bomb down for you. These two, Fame and James, a potent pair. Up against the 3 of them. Tessus, if he can find it cleanly, does get spotted out by James. Relay of information. Fame is up close. The bait, the switch. They're not looking. Good react out of Tessus. Leaves it all on to James. 1 bullet, 1 kill. Smoke on the bomb. Can he really find all 3? Just has to stop that defuse. Yabi looking the wrong way. 1. as he looks to find another. Caught out, well played, just enough time on that defuse. For a 7th for Heroic. I'm nervous every time the man's in a clutch.
Yeah, right. It is a very scary factor right there, but I can imagine what was going through his head was the amount of times he's been flanked already in this game. So not only do you have to worry about whatever information Fame was trying to give to him, it's still a couple of unknowns in a round like this. And there was a chance to pick that one up, but Heroic are recovering this CT half right now. Remember, this is the map choice of Outsiders here, best of 3. And if they can get themselves the half win, even though it's the smallest of margins, that extra round buffer going into the break is going to likely mean a lot here for the Danes.
Ooh, it's a Poundland buy.
But this is the thing. James saved AWP before with the extra cash he had. Now he has another AWP. So the impact he gets with this, that's been a carry-on effect, right? It's compounded from the previous rounds.
That's why they're so lethal. So hard to put away. Fame versus Stown, been quite the head-to-head. It's Galil versus M4, and Stown wins this one. Wins this round in the head-to-head. Still kept level, courtesy of Flit through mid.
Tessas might push B a little bit more here, and on the timing, the Jiggle spotted Flit and Stown will exchange information there. The bomb is still down, so this push from Tessas, if he keeps going through the B apartments, he may find the bomb before Outsiders have committed.
I love this. First shush. Spoke his name. Still gets one on the swing through.
Tessas will find the bomb here.
Yeah, that's big from Tessas. Round defining.
Knife out!
Ah, he doesn't know.
Oh!
And he lost his head. Kickert has saved Outsiders. Tessas.
Where was he going? The bomb was there.
I don't think he saw it. And that could lead to the round. That AWP you discussed. Jay misses his first chance. One across the bow from Cadian.
Stown's still here.
Yeah, he can actually mantle up and deny that plant. Now 20 seconds as Kickert brings it through. They haven't pushed for CT. They'll be aware that's a threat. Molly, it's down. Gonna have to do side. Oh wait, maybe doesn't spread. Maybe doesn't spread. Maybe doesn't spread. Planting, he can't deny. Has to stand still. And still jumps up. Doesn't find the frag he needed. Kickert alive, reloaded, moisturized and in his lane because this is looking like an 8. Cadian with him. James doesn't miss these. As soon as you cross into his line of fire, whoa! Gorgeous! From that AWP, one AWP for Cadian. What can you hit? Not the same, and run on down. It is a 1-out half on the T side. Anyway, second half is underway. Outsiders take to the defense. We've got Heroic on the attack. Let's see what the Danes can do. Up against Jame and Co.
All right, there we go. Yeah. Back to normality. That was a lot of pressure there.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at one bit.
Well, this is looking quick. Molly towards jungle. They're going to come fast up through the underpass and straight into Jame, who taps away one.
Careful now. James good for it. Gets away into the 4-on-4 early. Now, Cadian's working his master plan. Wants to keep Tessas parked in mid. Down already looking for info onto B, and it's wide open for the taking. Look at this proactivity, this awareness of the gaps. He's already burrowed into bench as the smoke lands. Shane's not ready. Okay, Stown delivers on the frag.
How are you gonna get back into this? Down's gonna keep pushing forward, taking the fight. Tessas has found Fame.
This is perfect. What a gorgeous pistol, but Norbert and Kickert aren't laughing. They don't think
on
it's
the
pretty.
side. Yabi's still coming.
Yeah, he's miles away. He has to hit his first on the P250.
It's a default plan as well.
He's got short to contend with. And he's already dealt with Kickert. A lovely tap out of that P250. Leaves Norbert. He's got the perfect retake package. Fully loaded. Smoke. Kick. Onto the bomb. Tickle it. Nervous. Cadian running in down. He's got to find that player on the bomb. Fakes it out. Still not getting that frag. Playing with them. He should have it on the knife. Missing it now. Cadian getting nervous. He has got it just in time. An extra 1,500 bucks as the Karambit sinks into the Kevlar vest of Norbert. But I want to talk about that pistol strat. Just seeing Tessas, you park him in mid and you just immediately see his value.
But it was the information. So as soon as they're able to grab that information, right, that Jane was in window, I don't know too many other details here, but they were able to get into B quite free. And I think here, poor Cadian was looking for a metal detector. He couldn't find him whatsoever until the final throws of that. So Norbert trying to be tricky with it. That's a pistol round picked up here, so exchanging the T-side pistols to tie things up 8-8. And a force buy with 2 Fami.
Could go wrong because there's a lot of bodies here from Outsiders, and Fame is so deadly on that FAMAS. The FAMAS with 2. Shush finally stops him before any more damage is done, but I'm afraid that will continue to echo through this round. They are trapped. Door locked with Norbert with the key. Now they can play this as they typically do. Kicker does go down to the flame. A war of attrition from Spray. And Norbert is starting to actually press the issue.
Oh.
Test is unawares again, just clotheslined with the hand cannon. A single bullet, lethal. And oh, James snappy to the head of Stown as well. Outsiders will make you work. And this second round supposed to be a walk in the park. It's not, it's more like Jurassic Park. Snapping at you everywhere you go. Little Velociraptors, Flit and James will finish it. And that's a forced by victory. That T-side pistol, irrelevant.
Yeah, right there. That is a great round to win. You see Fame on the side. That's not the expectation right there. The setup, traditionally Norbert towards B, Fame over towards short. James is your window connector player alongside of Flit, and then you have Kicker anchoring A. So that little nucleus I just discussed is very, very potent. But this call, right? This call from outsiders with these type of rifles, this type of purchase as the force to stack that site, have now got us well and truly on the way for some force by wars. Stown will have an AK going into this round of play. There's a couple of upgraded pistols, so this is something where outsiders will traditionally do their best work. You want to have a pistol here to get that info, then Stown to be able to either trade off of that or use that info to get that frag. And then you've got armor on other players here, so you're able to pick that up, siphon the rifles across, try and stay as threatening as possible. Absolute worst case scenario for Heroic here is to get nothing, to get absolutely blank. They need to keep this somewhat competitive in an environment like this.
Definitely some parallels between Fame and Stown in the sense that he may have 1 year on him, but he's the one that's trusted on these hero rifles. He's the one his whole team backs to break some backs and help them come back with this force by war. Flit concedes just as the jiggles come through. Chip damage onto Shush. No Kevlar. That's a lot of damage from the first connection. Smoked off. Can actually see the ladder player get activated as well. He's going to go for a more passive approach.
Need to discuss the mind games here as well. James has been boosted in the B site this entire time, so he wasn't expecting a potential B pop here. Now that Norbert has the space, James is freed up, but he was very sure, or at least had a pretty good inkling, that Heroic were going to finish towards B. So now James is a loose piece. He gets to read this as he likes. Really
interesting from Fame. You can see the passive stance. This is the fight he was waiting for, and Stown does nothing. It's again Fame in the feed 4-2. He is good for the double, is Fame, but maybe Heroic can do something with what remains. Jay making it difficult. On to Javi. And yeah, he's found all of the frags necessary. Cadian now with a touch of his tongue. A quick snap of the Deeg, a great shot. And 8 seconds left. He'd have to bang him out now, and that will do. That'll do nicely. Outsiders have humbled Heroic.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, it needed to be somewhat costly. So 2 kills, is it going to be enough? Well, no, not enough to get Heroic into another buy round here. Maybe a plan and a couple more frags. You have that conversation. This is outsiders after a pistol round loss, course correcting, looking fantastic. And those key in the back-to-back rounds. These are rounds now where Fame has got the opening kills in both of them. Right now, that means that they get an extra. It should be a freebie. It's 5 Glocks, a smoke, and a flash. This is one of the easiest rounds you'll be looking at in this grand final.
He was missing for the first 5 rounds, and now on 13 rounds, he's managed to farm up 16 frags. The boy is back.
He's got the most multi-kills in the server right now.
Oh, and there might be a few more on the agenda. Here it comes. Fame with 4. Just knocks Heroic for 6.
Well, yeah, sure, they're eco kills, but that's going to feel good in the context of this game. Right? You have to just know that you're going to be really feeling yourself. A nice little bit of practice there, just whipping that AK around.
Yeah, you know, just making sure it still works. I mean, he was staying real nimble, real dynamic, and to keep track of all those pesky Ts. They were at different angles, only Glocks, but he massacres them. And we'll farm up some frags.
This is a rough-looking buy for Heroic here. They have smokes, they have flashes, but they don't have a full kit by any means. You normally talk about Heroic, they're going back to spawn, picking up extra flashes, picking up extra smokes. This just tells you how they're feeling in the dumps right now. Mid-heavy presence here, 2 underpass, 2 top mid. Cadian over towards Palace and Fame. 20 kills, happy to take the fight. This kid's aim is mental.
Absolutely feeling himself now, Chad. I wonder if he keeps this up, he's going to maybe deter Heroic from trying any funny business short side. He is a demon, he can help you on connector. Well-timed nade. Flit and him are working in unison very well. What a shot, it's straight through the smokes, down, and look at Fame. He's just not flustered. It's a good one back from Shush. Won't be expecting such an immediate trade, because yeah, there comes Norbert, swings through the angle. Positioning brilliant from the outsiders, looking like the better team. It's Heroic that are getting caught out. Now, Cadian perhaps with a lot of space. Now, usually there isn't a gap, but I can see Kikit's just jiggling from jungle, so no one knows. No one knows that Cadian has slipped through. This is interesting, especially now. Kikit saves the day. Tessus bomb, 3 to find, and James having absolutely none of it. Just hold it in that angle. You said already, was posted up, expecting something fruity. Timeout time.
You know what's crazy? James just get an opening kill, right? Really? And then coming into this is a big discussion about James, and you know how, look, he hasn't needed to. Right? These rifles have been able to deal it, and I'm sure when we get to Overpass, that will be a different conversation entirely.
How's the, you know, you talked about Norbert and Fame being very high-rated openers on this. After that T side, how did they end up? Was it a decent haul? I mean, it's definitely a good scoreline.
It's being leveled out now on this CT side, but look, they were doing their job, right? Both of their impact was felt within that first half once they got online here. And this is going to be the third time out. Now, I mentioned earlier as we were just coming back from that break about Exist, right? He's the only man on the stage right now who knows what it's like to taste major glory. They had that nice graphic. He's been in 5 major finals as a player. He won 1, right? He has a lot of little tidbits, as you heard from Shush, to give them some major stories, and he needs to keep them cool, right? Well, we have the cool, calm, collected James on one side of the server, well, you have Cadian, the in-game leader of Heroic, who is extremely fiery and extremely emotional, so they do try and balance each other out here.
Yeah, well, James and Kikit as well.
This is a B-rush.
Yeah, there's going to be Flame to stop him, and it does seem they respect it. Okay. Fame and Norbert.
Oh, look at the rotation. James and Kikit already seem like they're moving over here.
They're aware. They are all too aware. Safe from the flash. Oh, not the second. Drive-by on the Tech 9. Still Fame ready. James already as well in the feed. This is running short of resources. A couple of drive-by dings, but we need to see frags for Heroic. Nicely maneuvered around the site. Norbert good for another. Down tucked on bench. The whole squad is here. I mean, look at these options. There's nothing to do. A single Kevlar vest and a Tech 9. What you got for us?
And I know he's here as well. Yep. You can see the defensive utility they've lobbed at him. So if Shush can grab something, it might give them a gap to work with.
He could maybe catch Fame on a jiggle. That low HP doesn't even... Ooh, too much. Now Shush has been spotted out, and he tries his luck. Can't really fault him for that. Tries to take the duel against the orb, but now Wells down revealed. They can't all just peak in unison, and James will finish it off neat and tidy. And I think neat and tidy is another way I'd describe Outsiders. I mean, this defense, let's not forget, Heroic won the pistol. They won that pistol. It was an 8-7 half. They found their 8 immediately and have since been silent.
And what was the first gun round? What did I say when we saw the first AKs come out? There's some omissions here.
Yeah.
So when you look at this slew of rounds that Fame has impacted into 2 back-to-back, right? The second round buy from Heroic, snuffed out by his Famous. The follow-up round, where they had tried to force it themselves, Fame found a lot of damage there as well. So at this point, it's finally the opportunity for Heroic to start this comeback with the scoreline being 13-8. Right? So the financial issues that have come from losing those first couple of rounds has really caused a flow and effect here that's allowed Outsiders to get this deep. But as the gag goes, paid by the round, let's see how deep it goes. Janko made comment on the desk that sure, they're a hard team to put away, but they also sometimes have trouble closing out games. And that is likely why we just saw that timeout come through from Dustin to have this conversation. The red carpet is rolled out right now. We win this rifle round. We know that Cadian is likely to bring out an AWP here. If we can pip them at the post right now, we can close things down and swiftly move on to map number 2.
Let's see what their plan is. Heroic trying to post their first gun round on this T side. Nothing's worked. Outsiders working overtime. Certainly something they'd like to avoid in this one. An investigation of mid. Nothing to report. That's going to keep Down locked out.
It's such a luxury for James to have Flit and Fame hold mid on their own with rifles, and the AWP doesn't need to be posted here. It means that he gets to be this mystery. He gets to start wherever he wants. He gets to try and look for the pick wherever he wants. And
wow.
Tessus, well, he did find Fame towards mid. Javi found Flit. This is happening very quick.
Yeah, I mean, a surprise to Outsiders and us as well. Now James has to draw his attention to mid. Those 2 aforementioned defenders gone. It was a great frag out of Tessus. You can see Fame was trying to nade him on tap. He must have just swung out and banged him out.
Well, James looking for the window boost here, using the light, and this could be a fight here. Sandwich, Shush and Kikit on a collision course. This has been quite the duel.
Tentative. Norbert's rotated away. I think all that fast kicked up by Shush has led to an open bomb site. Norbert's going to be aware of it. Kikit the opposite. Nice catch. They can take it all away from Outsiders. That would certainly be in their best interests, considering the funds. A lot of cash already on the Outsiders roster, but they will play the long game.
They need to fight their way out here. They know Shush was on A, and they know the bomb's gone down towards B. Oh, and there's a shot back. So Norbert is trying to buy them a bit of buffer room here. James on high alert. Where has Shush gotten off to? And remember, again, do they want to go for the hunt on the T side? The finances aren't built yet. That's the conversation that Heroic are having right now.
There's a benefit to doing it, but there isn't.
In losing it all, there's not when the buyer's available on the other side.
It's such a risk. You can see they are like just having a little walk around, and there, Norbert, rifle, put down, but they know it's James. They know that all has been spotted. CT, they say, will they throw all of their resources into knocking it out of his hands? He's doing so much damage. Yabi will post it. His third frag of the round, 2 on the hunt. For Yabi as well, you know, from what felt like the highest highs of Copenhagen Flames to the truly high highs of Heroic.
This, I mentioned that Shush versus Kick-It duel has been an interesting one. Remember when Shush was pushing so much? We caught that in the early stages of this game as well. So it has been a curious one trying to keep tabs on each other. You don't tend to see those matchups actually play out like this. So that's curious. And we can already see the issues of losing those guns. Shush has to have a Galil instead of an AK.
Oh man, I like a bit of aggression. A touch of it from Flit. Just dropped out the window. Has his support of Fame. We know the double Fs like to hold middle in unison. And it does seem like Cadian and the boys are coming testing. Could be the run boost. Orb to strafe behind it as crosshairs are drawn. Shush catapulted across. A bit of a whiff on that. Still a fight, an easy one for Fame. Drops his panic button before the flame can land. Safe on the extinguish. Tagged up down to 10 HP. Flit to try and bail him out. It's down, blinded. Fame relocated. And Heroic have won the duel. They have mid now. It's their territory.
Yeah, but they lost Shush in doing so here. So, in fact, Fame gets to stay alive. He can just go hide and wait and just remain a number at the top of the scoreboard, right? His HP means he can't take the same type of duels as he would like to, but he's still an unknown entity. Now, the gap, you would assume it's up short to B, but it is James, which is the perfect weapon for these long-range fights.
Heroic come knock it. James opens the door. A lovely find onto Tesses. More required. Rotate on its way. Still not a clear commitment. Heroic can maneuver through window. Cadian's trying his luck.
With the bomb?
Oh my goodness, that's a ballsy one. He's going to be heard very loud about all of this. Wonder if Flit heard the dismount too. Very light on time.
Yeah, he needs this kill. He needs this kill.
He's got so much experience at playing the time like this, though. James, the Time Lord. Just
I can't find him.
To destroy as they do. Oh, hit some shots. He's still on site, though. 5 as they go for the bomb. Bodyguarded by Yabi. Incredible resuscitation for the Danes, and now Cadian may have spotted a frag. Yabi delivers, and they will close. What a turnaround! Heroic down in the dumps, but they stand tall. Last second. Yabi gets a lot of praise for that one.
That's a 3v5 right there. That is a massive round to win as far as this comeback goes. The fact that they're able to pull that off, they're able to pull that out. I said Yabi had to get that kill. Well, he did, not when I expected it. So the rotation over. That is a massive shot from Cadian. That is crazy. And the barrel, Pinocchio's nose, giving him away right there. Poor James, and this is just a finish. Every shot coming their way. That is definitely going to get the boys fired up, and take a look. Everybody showing some emotion right here.
That's their last timeout, Chad. That is what it has created. The fallout, the reverberation of a 3 versus 5 to go 2v5. Incredible scenes. It was Stown, of course, that contributed initially. Yabi and Cadian to close it out, but yeah, I'd take a timeout too. Heroic has just proven to themselves that they're playing their game their way.
This is going to get difficult now. Outsiders, again, are still going to be able to keep these AWPs alive, which is standard. I believe that was dropped from Kick-It over towards James to make it a possibility. And they're just going to have pistols here, and it isn't even a full investment. You can see a bit of cash carried through from several Outsiders members. This isn't an all-in. They're playing a bit of a longer game here, as to be expected.
Yeah, par for the course.
But they've already lost a force by-ish type round so far, so as Heroic turn all 5 members towards this A site, it is really just Kick-It here. He will have contributions from jungle and connector quite swiftly, but if it's a full exec with all the smokes, all the bells and whistles, it's going to be hard for Outsiders to play ahead of this. They don't have their own utility to cause these gaps. But James, reading the play, is in a bit more of a forward position to try and punish here.
You know those ghost orbs you were talking about? I imagine this might be one of those situations where Heroic just don't know. He could be anywhere.
And that's why you want to execute. So the biggest issue could be if he was close A ramp or something along those lines. They just have to negate him with this utility, and they're out.
Yeah, a lot of info. Flit does very well to find the leveling frag through that smoke. An even exchange, but pressure applied. They will bring the bomb through. Tessus, good onto Flit. That was a big one to find just as the smoke does Plume. And now the bomb planted, decisions to be made as well for outsiders. As you said, it was not the full investment. Fame's been very passive in his stance on mid, so maybe containment the name of the game. Heroic will exit as a pack. And Fame's going to get a little bit of a faceful if he rounds that corner. Okay, answers given.
Yeah, I think he's seen enough there, so trying to back off completely here. Iem is still stuck in towards CT spawn, and it doesn't look like they're going to be coming his way. So saving that AWP, we know it's priority number 1, and that will be confirmed here as they're going to dance away back down towards that A ramp. And we'll keep 7 players alive in round 24. And they should be able to get the buy coming through now. Fame can drop an M4, Flit should be able to buy one of his own, and everything should be looking pretty sunshine and rainbows over there for outsiders. Now they still have this 2-round lead, and look, this is a discussion point on the desk as well, is about Kickit, who is the sidekick to Jane. Those two individuals were in the grand final of Berlin back in 2019. So the experienced members here. But Kickit, he had a pretty miserable challenger and legend stage, and then coming into the playoffs, he's elevated his level slightly, but right here, right now, he is somewhat missing. Only 8 kills. The rest of the server are getting the contributions. They're getting exactly what they're paid for, but can Kickit be the difference maker here in the pressure moments?
That's what we're about to find out. Stone's going to be very brave to round that corner, considering how occupied it is. You got that same Fame and Flit duo. Should you brave the turn of the corner? Now, we won't be doing it alone. You can see they're partnered up top mid. This setup looks good. Nade is better. Onto Shush, down to 50.
Look at how long they're holding onto their smokes for here on the CT side. They're using their forward position with the bodies, so they do not have to drop the smokes, which means now as we get into this 1-minute mark, they can block for as long as they'd possibly like. Norbert still has one. As soon as he gets any contact, he should be dropping this smoke. And they've gambled away, so Kickit, as I mentioned, normally the A anchor is playing over towards B here.
It seems like outsiders got their finger on the pulse. They're very aware and in tune with what Heroic, or where Heroic are positioned. You can see James has actually put himself at the front of the pack. The spearhead of the assault cuts off Sound.
Well, where that came from.
Yeah, and he's in time for this peak. Oh, Cadian out orcs 1. Good whack from Flit. Multi-kill massacre in the underpass, and Kickit with 3 comes online in the grand final, of course.
Yeah, a bit of a murder box down there towards the underpass. There was really no way forward. You could just see how many bodies would deal with that, but that is for 14, and this is Kickit on the jump up. Gets himself up to the double digits with the rest of the team right there. So not a pressure moment, but some big kills, and obviously some confidence boosting kills right here. That right there, you could just see the stoic nature with that utility meant there were so many positions that Heroic couldn't function.
You've been an in-game leader before, Chad. Cadian, James, some of the most seasoned and exciting in-game leaders in modern Counter-Strike. Do you ever get into a position where you feel like the other guy's just got your number? He knows how you're thinking. He's in your head. Yeah,
sometimes you can really be feeling the flow of the game, and this is actually better than outplaying opponents with the ability to shoot them in the head, is out-calling them, out-positioning. The best rounds is where we can get into a bomb site, and we don't have to kill everybody.
Which both of these teams do.
Precisely. That right there is the mind games, and that can start to stew and manifest. And, well, we do have a MAC-10 in the hands of Shush here. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing anything too fast out of the gates. They maybe could use a top mid smoke and try and spiral quickly in towards connector. A pace change wouldn't go awry.
Yeah, and actually James gone for a very interesting angle to post up on mid. Now Yabi's the only one there other than Shush. And he's already past that line. Maybe Flit's going to be a little less prepared than normal for something so quick. If distraction is, well, thrown as it is towards the ramp side, and Shush out, about, and oh, doesn't clear his corners. Damage onto Flit, info as well. James never caught out. Yabi meets his fate at the hands of James. Only 3 for Heroic, a 3 versus 5 once, yes, but Lightning, will it strike twice? Stown does, with an opening. Trying to plant, hectic, good fight back. Stown onto Fame, Cadian's back, his turn is kicking again, and only Stown. A lot of damage done. 3 in the round, but Outsiders, they're up to 15. This is their map pick, and they are showing us why this defense has been brutal. Everything Heroic try, it seems like there's a remedy, there's an answer, there's an antidote in Outsiders' defense.
That response time there was fantastic as well. Everybody there to help trade out over towards that side. It meant there was no moment for Stown to take a breath. Nobody from Heroic could sit here and pause. And this was after those 2 opening exchanges came in. So really, really good work from Outsiders here. A decent attempt from Stown. You question what's possible if he had a couple more bullets in that AK, but that's run dry. And the final buy from Heroic has as well. Rifle sure, but util, it's not existing. Who needs to make the play? Who's going to step up? Yami with a massive shot onto Flit there.
That is special. Everyone is a real sharp individual. It's the reason they're in the grand final. But who can do it when it matters most? It seems Shush can too.
Well, call it off, call it off. Outsiders, you don't have to get involved in this. And classically, they will give this one over. But how much damage do they want to inflict? Remember, we're at the tail end right now of map number 1. Giving away any guns on either side is going to be extremely costly. And Yabi, well, he's been sent forward. The dog being left off the leash.
We are playing the game within the game.
A run boost right now towards spawn. So they're using every trick in the book here to make sure that they can avoid this AWP's first shot. And Yabi, if he clears his corners, he might take another.
He's very close to Norbert's head. He's just hit the body.
Well, that confirms where they are right now. You can't really give away any more guns here if you're Heroic. Maybe one, right? Maybe you could have a conversation, give away one more fight, sure.
Good. Is there an upgrade for that Galil? Cadian's got time to go shopping and does find it, so...
No AWP.
Yeah.
They won't have that as a possibility on the other side of the server where James, he will retain his.
He's just got that name value respect as well. Oh, who's saving? You press tab. Oh, it's him, and he has plenty of cash. The James special.
Yeah, and this is, it does actually get a bit strange with James. And he retains enough money so he can have an all like, hey, I can drop 2 M4s and we can all buy. How about I drop 1 M4 and so I can still buy an AWP if it all goes wrong, right? They quite literally use this like the queen on a chessboard.
Here's an example.
Yeah, kick it with the USP.
He's got 4 grand and Kick it's running in with the USP.
They're going to rush B. Well, this is a nice pace change. Heroic now starting to feel themselves here. Norbert trying to get back in time, but they should be in.
The smokes will land. He throws out his own. He's going to try his hand at a bit of a defense. A solo hold. Norbert, big frag.
Oh!
2 out of Norbert. Shush and Stown will silence the initial response, but the cavalry still canters in. Flick goes wide. Bomb to be planted. Kick it to distract. Recovers a pistol and a rifle. Equipped now. A 3-on-3. This is a brawl. And this is for all the marbles on Mirage. Quick back from Flit. Heroic tapping heads. Stown still in nuisance with 20 HP. Goes down and only Cadian can save them. Kick it and James for the map. In this grand final, easy